Hello everybody and welcome back to Dr. Ghost Games. Today we are going to be starting a new series on the channel. This series is for new players. So, with all that being said, I would like to welcome you all to the channel. I am Dr. Ghost and I have been playing World of Warships Legends for about 3 years. And over the course of my time in World of Warships Legends, I have realized that there are a lot of people out there that need help, and I'm here to deliver. If you are a new player, or if you are someone who has been playing World of Warships Legends for a while, but you still struggle, this channel is for you. I'm here to help, I'm here to assist. Anybody who goes in the comments, I will try to get back to you. So with all that being said, this is Dr. Ghost Games, and welcome to World of Warships Legends. Now, when you first start out your game, this is what you'll see. You'll see, welcome to World of Warships Legends. Begin your journey by battling against AI, fight battles to raise your service record level. Each level unlocks new game features, including battle types, upgrades, and more. We will get into everything. The game does not do a super good job of teaching newer players how to play and what the best choices are to start out. And there's not a lot of channels out there that does in-depth stuff like this. Now, we're going to get right into this. Now, right off the bat, this is a very new account. The name is DGG Guides. Basically, that means Dr. Ghost Games Guides. And this is what this account is going to be for. Now, the first thing I want you guys to do, right here, see this? This is the screen you're going to see. I want you guys to go on your controller and click the B button, go down to settings, and adjust some things. You guys can adjust your sensitivity around, so when you're in game, you look around faster. I do strongly suggesting moving this up, so you can look around your ship a lot faster. Collision prevention. Now, I do suggest turning this off. As long as you have good situational awareness, and you are paying attention to your screen, I do suggest turning this off, because this is kind of one of those features that is in the game that doesn't work exactly the way as it is intended to. And the vibration function, that is up to you. Now for the sound, I'm going to go ahead and put on National. The National voiceover mod, what that does is it basically makes it to where all of the countries actually sound just like the country. So the Japanese, for example, will actually sound Japanese. The British will actually sound British. It's pretty cool. This is a very nice thing to put on. For the display, I'm going to go ahead and put on the increased HUD size. What this does is basically, while I'm in battle, it increases the size of everything. It increases the lettering of the enemy ships and names and all that good stuff. It does help out, especially since I have very bad eyes. So I do strongly suggest putting on the increased HUD size. And of course, if you're colorblind, you could turn this on as well. Or you could just put this on just for the shits and giggles. Now for the customization, you guys can turn all this off if you want to. These are the crossover event things, basically. I keep these all on. I don't really care, but you guys can turn all this stuff off, so that way all of the special camos really don't appear for you. For example, the Arpeggio stuff, the Azerline stuff, Halloween stuff, Transformers, Warhammer, you name it. If you guys want to turn all that off, you guys can. And the port. You guys can select what port you're going to be in. I'm going to select the Fjords port, because that is my favorite port. I love the Fjords port. And the network, delete Wargaming account, I would never do that. Don't even ever bother with that tab as far as I am concerned. But those are the settings. I do suggest taking a look at the settings and even looking at some of the presets and deciding what you want to do. You guys can look on the right side of your screen and see what works best for you. But other than that, you guys can pause the video at any point. You guys can look back if you need to for, for a little bit of help, if you will. And remember, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here for you guys. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the exciting stuff, shall we? So, up in the top right, when you click the Y button, you guys can also go into here. You can view your service record. Obviously, we have no battles played, so nothing really has happened here yet. And if you click Y again, when you go back out of that, you guys can go edit your patch, and you guys can change your patch. Now, when you open crates, the free crates you get every single day, obviously we don't have crates unlocked yet, but when you do get them unlocked, you will unlock over time patches, new patches you can put on, and patches don't do anything for you except make your account look cool. And we're going to go ahead and change our patch around just like so. I think that's fine, just like that. And we are going to launch right into a battle. Now to go into a battle, you just click A. It's in the bottom left right there, and it puts you into a battle. we're just going to hop into a versus AI match because that's the only thing we have right now. We don't have anything else to do except play some AI matches. So, right when you load into the battle, this is what you're going to see. Your ship, you're going to be able to look around, and you're going to be able to do whatever the heck you feel like. Now, the battle timer is up at the top of the screen. Right now, the battle has not started yet. We still have about 20 seconds left until the battle starts. Now, if we click left on the, we click the Windows button on your Xbox controller or on whatever you're on PlayStation, you guys can click the button there. I do not exactly know the PlayStation controls very well, but you guys can open this screen up. Just click some buttons and figure out what button you need to click. And you guys can open this up. And you guys can see what ships you're dealing with on the enemy team. And of course, you can see what ships you have on your team. You can click B to get out of that. Now, to speed up, we're going to go and do that. We're going to go full speed here. Now, luckily, the game does give you a little bit of a movement hint there. So to steer is left on your controller, the left joystick. To steer right, obviously, you put it to the right. And to steer left, you put it to the left. See? And now we're going to the left, vice versa. And you guys can steer. Now remember, you guys can also hold LB, or I think it's left bumper on really any console. The left bumper, you can hold it, and you can zoom out just like this. And yeah. Now to aim your guns, you're going to want to hold the left stick and just start shooting at people. Remember, it's your first battle. It doesn't really matter. But just start shooting at people. Do some damage. And that is all you're going to be doing. Now to aim, what you want to be doing is looking at your ship, looking at the ship you're shooting at, and see if they're coming towards you. One way to figure out if they're coming towards you or not, if there's a lot of water in the front of their ship. Which there is a lot of water, as you guys can see there, which means he's steaming towards us pretty fast. So we're going to go do a little bit of leading. He's at about 5 kilometers. We'll just put it right there. And those should mostly hit. Now, of course, the game, it's all about luck and RNG, so sometimes dispersion and your accuracy of your shells really is a good way of thinking about it. Will be a little wonky. Now, we're on the border of the map here. We're on the border, so what we're going to want to do here is turn back in. Remember, using our left on the joystick here, and we're going to go and turn to the left, and we're going to go ahead and swing our guns around and start doing some damage to this Dresden here. Now, I'm going to click the settings here, and I'm going to go over to sound, because the battle music is very loud. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. I'm going to turn down the general volume as well. It's a little too loud for me. But you guys could do whatever the heck you feel like. Now, we're in a little bit of a brawl. Now, notice we're not just going to... We don't want to go right into him. Remember, if he rams us, we will die. So, we want to make sure that we get on his side here and dodge the incoming ram. That's pretty important, because when you get rammed in this game, it doesn't just do a little bit of damage. It's almost an insta-kill. Depending on what ship. The bigger the ship, usually, the harder it's going to ram. If it's around the same size as you, around the same health as you, then usually you will trade. Usually you both will go down. So you got to be careful. You got to be maneuvering your ship, guys. Remember, maneuvering your ship. Using that left on the joystick there. And don't get too overwhelmed, because when you're starting out, it really all comes down to you just figuring out the game. Figuring out how the rudder works. But down goes that Dresden. Now the Albany right here, he's going forward, as you guys can see, a little bit of water off his bow. Smoke is pointing backwards, so we're just going to fire some shells there, and we get 2 hits. Unfortunately, 2 hits hit the island. Nothing we could really do about that. Now we're going to go get a pot shot off. Nino Bixio's going pretty quick, so we're going to do a little bit of leading here. Play around with the leading, watch your shells. Kind of get used to the aiming, get used to the ship's maneuverability. You know, just kind of get a feel for the game. It's really important. Now, obviously, when you first start out the game, it's going to be a little boring. You're not going to have a whole lot of ships at all. In fact, you're only going to have 2 ships in your port. So, just keep that in mind. You're not going to have everything unlocked. And these first few battles are really just for you to get warmed up to the game, to figure the basics out. And that's what this video is about, the basics. Figuring out how to aim. And as you guys can see here, this Albany was slowing down, so I aimed right about center mass of his ship. And we hit him pretty well, and it looks like one of our teammates did take him out. So, at this point, all we need to do is take out the last 2 guys. It looks like our teammate there over in the Albany is about to kill that Xi'an there. Xi'an is getting absolutely wrecked, but he isn't down yet, so we're going to go and fire some guns over there. Xi'an looks to be backing up a little bit. He's backing up, so what we're doing here is leading a little further back. And we get some hits down range on him, and down he goes. Now, pay attention to the minimap too, guys. Paying attention to the minimap. I am the arrow. That's me. That's your ship. And the red people are the enemy ships. Pay attention to the minimap. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for, you know, basically where everybody is. You want to know where everybody is. And paying attention to that minimap is one of the best things you can do, especially early on. If you could learn to have situational awareness and keep an eye on that minimap and get, you know, an idea of where everybody is, then you can really use that to your advantage. You can set up some good positions, and you can even just get an idea of what's happening around you. So it's very important. Situational awareness. Remember, you can just hold LB and your left bumper and look around you, see, without rotating your guns. Or you can hold right bumper, the right bumper, and you can click X to put your guns in lock here. And you can look around your ship freely. The tutorial does not teach you this, but you can actually lock your guns and just look around your ship freely if you want to quickly take a look around your ship. And of course, you can unlock them by either just clicking it right here or just clicking the RT button and you can just fire your guns. Or click the left joystick in. By clicking it in, you can target your ships like this. And of course, you can fire your guns at them or unselect your gun lock. Obviously, when we lock our guns like that, we can click the left stick in and boom, they're unlocked without having to hold the right bumper down to go and unlock them. Now, friendly takes out that enemy ship and down he goes. But that's our first game, and we got an achievement here: getting your feet wet, survive and win any battle. Now, remember, when you guys are starting out the game, there's a lot of information to take in, and really just take in little by little. Try to understand one thing at a time, guys. Don't stretch yourselves out, and because when you do that, you're gonna be tempted not to want to learn the game. But once you take some time to learn the game, figure out how the aiming works, figuring out how the maneuverability works, and how your ship works, it's very important. You know, it'll give you really a better time in Legends, and you'll have a lot more fun while doing it, I think. And it'll give you an advantage if you can understand your ship, understand how to aim, understand how to lead. It's the basics of Legends, and if you can figure that out, that's very important. Now, we just finished our first battle, and because of that, we leveled up to the second service record here, and we just unlocked ship upgrades and modifications. So, basically, this right here allows us to put upgrades on our ship, for example. Now, if we go to ship options by clicking X and then going to upgrades and loadout, we can come over here and put on an upgrade, which is going to cost us about 500 credits. Now, what this upgrade does, it's targeting systems, and it increases the main battery firing range by about 10%, which is about double. So, that's very nice to have, and it also increases our main battery firing range another bit, basically by about 9.5 kilometers. So we're going to put that on, because that does nothing but good for our ship. And we get another achievement, learning the ropes. Install a ship upgrade. Very nice. For those of you who are achievement hunting, you guys can click the whatever button you use to go to your guide here, and you can go over to your achievements, and you can come into here and see what you're doing here. This is your achievement tracker, at least for Xbox. I have no idea what it is for you PlayStationers out there. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah. So for those who like achievement hunting and, you know, going after achievements, you guys can look at your achievements and figure out what you got to do to get them. For the next battle, we're going to play the Chikuma, Tier 1 Japanese light cruiser. Just because, why not? Now, I know that's a lot to take in. There's a lot of things to just take in. But like I said, learn everything one bit at a time. It's the best thing you can do. The first things you want to learn in World of Warships Legends is figuring out how just your ship works, figuring out how to aim, and figuring out how to use your speed and all that stuff. That right there is the most important thing you can do. Now, here we go again. We're in a battle. Once again, just an AI battle. These are just the starter battles, nothing too crazy. Remember, if we click the one button, it could be different for you PlayStationers, but on Xbox, it's the Windows button on the controller here, the left button. And yeah, so we're looking at what we got here. We got an enemy Griff. We got a Navik, we've got a Chikuma, and a Weymouth. So there's some pretty decent little enemies out there. Now, one thing you guys can look at, too, is your map. So you guys see those big circles up there, right? I'm sure you guys saw them in the last battle. Those are the bases. And when people enter those bases, they start capturing them. And when they capture those bases, they win the game. So what you want to try to do anyway is defend your base from people trying to cap it, and if there is an opportunity to push into the enemy base, take it. But usually it doesn't really come down to that very often, especially in these low tier lobbies. These are more of slugfests, if you will. All you're going to be doing in these matches is just shooting your guns off at people and just learning the game. So honestly, don't even worry about the caps yet, until much later in your Legends career. Now the ship designations, the game does tell you a little bit about what everything does and what everything is, but it still doesn't do a very good job of some other stuff that we have been going over, and it's really the specifics. The specifics of this game is very important. Learning everything, figuring out stuff slowly over time. And I can promise you guys, if you guys like ship games like this, if you guys like World of Warships Legends, but you still haven't figured it out, you're probably not figuring it out in the right way. And the right way to do that, in my opinion, is just slowly figure stuff out. Learn stuff over time. Watch YouTube videos like this. And, yeah. Now, in case you guys aren't aware, there is a aim assist feature in this game. Every time you click in, like this, it may look very obnoxious, I do apologize, but every time you click in, the game is constantly adjusting your aim naturally. So it is a very nice ability to have. Now, unfortunately, some of the shells fell short there, mainly because of the RNG mechanics in this game. Anytime you fire your shells, there's a chance where they can just completely miss. That's the unfortunate part about this game. But for the most part, when you aim right, you usually do hit the target, and if you do hit them pretty well, you get really rewarded. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do here is reverse, because there's really no need for us not to. The AI are all piling up right here, and they're just making it easy for us. Like I said, it's just a big slugfest. Nothing too crazy here. And, yep, looks like this guy's going a little forwards here. We're going to aim for his bow, the front of his ship, and we're going to hit him. And we get 2 hits. Unfortunately, some of our shells fall short because, you know, RNG. Random number generator. It does come down to that sometimes. And we take him out there. We get all of our guns to land. Down goes the enemy Chikuma. Next up is the Navik. Now what we're going to be going ahead and doing here is waiting for our guns to reload. Now, one thing you guys could keep in mind too is your gun angles. Notice that when we turn in, we can only fire 3 guns off our front here. And that is because most of our guns are also in the back too. If you look closely, there's some little guns in the back there that you can use. So if you turn your ship like this, slow down, you can get all of your guns to bear on the target. We went from having 3 guns to 5 guns just because we turned to get our guns off. The only downside to turning out like that, though, is giving yourself up. You're going broadside to the enemy, which it really doesn't matter at low tiers as much because most people don't really care, especially AI. But yeah, what we're trying to do here though is get all of our guns to bear. As you guys can see, the more we look around this way, some of the guns can't turn. Their angles are not very good. So we just got to make sure that we're always at a good angle here to get all of our guns to bear on target. We got the aiming reticle right in the center of his boat there, so we're just able to absolutely smack the crap out of him. And any second now, we're going to be able to finish. We're going to go ahead and zoom in with the right stick there. And down he goes. That's our second kill. And like I said, guys, just figure stuff out. Slowly. Play some AI games if you have to. Or even play some low-tier player versus player battles. Slowly figure things out. It will help out a lot. And yeah, like I said, guys, getting started should not be something that you should stress over. You should be figuring out how the game works. That's really all it comes down to. Figuring out how everything works. Not everything, but some things. Now, basically, what we're going to be doing here is just we're going to keep on pummeling this guy. We're going to aim a little more forwards, and we're going to aim a little down, and we absolutely smack him. Very nice indeed. We hit about 4 out of the 5 shells on him. Now, this guy is pretty low on HP, so we're going to go and take a shot at him. Oh, wait. The teammate does take him out, so we're going to go and shoot at the Weymouth. Weymouth is getting absolutely smacked. We hit all 5 of our shells, and our teammate rams him. As you guys can see there, rams are pretty deadly in this game. It was basically a one-shot, one-kill. So usually what I tend to do is try to avoid rams if I can help it. Or if I'm on like low hit points, if I'm almost dead, ramming is sometimes a very good option. Because you're taking the enemy ship down with you. And basically in a Hail Mary attempt there. It does help out sometimes to ram. But like I said, we're not really caring about ramming yet. All you guys need to be worrying about at this moment in your Legends career, this early on, is just figuring out how the game works. Figuring out the aiming. Figuring out how the maneuverability and speed works. All that stuff plays a part. You guys got to figure out the basic mechanics of the game. Once you guys do that, then you guys are ready to start figuring out other stuff out. Figure stuff out, man. That's all it is. Learning the game slowly on your own. And, of course, watching videos like this that might even help you. And just like that, we reached the 2nd level of our service record, which means I think we unlocked some tech tree ships. So now, we can move on to the next tier. Now, before we do that, I want to go and click B. I want to go back to the main menu here. And we're going to go on to the ships tab. We just unlocked it for reaching our access level 3. If we go on in here, we can now research the next tier. Obviously, there are tiers 1, starting at Albany, going all the way up to tier 8. And there's different types of ships in the game that you guys can work towards, which require a lot of money, credits, and of course, a lot of time and effort, really. But the only ship we can get right now is the St. Louis. We've got the XP to do it. We've played a battle in the Albany. We're going to go ahead and purchase the St. Louis for 13,000 credits. As you guys can see in the top of the screen, we have about 22,000 credits. So we're going to be perfectly fine here to purchase this ship. And there we go. Remember, guys, like I said earlier, take a look at your ship. Click X and go to Upgrades and Loadout. I think X on PlayStation is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's square. I have no idea. I'm sure some of you PlayStationers are laughing at me if I got that wrong, but I don't play PlayStation. I do apologize, but it's the left button on your buttons. That's all I have to say. But if you go over to the survivability here, the artillery, the maneuverability, concealment, basically the stats section, you guys can take a look at your ship and see what you got going for yourself. Now, the St. Louis is a very formidable ship compared to the Albany. The Albany only has 11,000 hit points. Not a whole lot. However, the St. Louis gets 27,000 hit points. This thing is very tanky. It's got a lot of hit points, and it's got some pretty good armor, too, on the sides there. It's a little orange. Very nice indeed. However, everywhere else is pretty light blue, so most people are going to absolutely wreck you. You just got to be careful. Low tiers are like that. But we are going to go ahead and go on to the next battle here and just play another game. That's all it is, guys. We're playing game after game after game after game. Figuring stuff out. You know, figuring stuff out. That's all it is. That's all it is at the end of the day, is just figuring stuff out. That's what you guys got to be doing, learning, and figuring out the basic mechanics. I can't say that enough. Now, once again, we're looking at our team layout here. We've got a bunch of destroyers, which are little tiny boats that have torpedoes, which are something new we haven't talked about yet. Now, destroyer, before we get into the destroyers part, I want to point out something to you guys. The ship icons. As you guys can see, we are in the St. Louis, and next to the St. Louis in the bottom left, there's a little square with one line through it. That is a cruiser. That's the cruiser icon. Okay, we are a cruiser. A destroyer is the little Dorito symbol, or the triangle, if you will. That's what a destroyer is, and most destroyers have torpedoes. They're very fast, they're very agile, they're very maneuverable. They've got pretty rapid reloading guns, but they're small. And they've got access to something called torpedoes, which we will probably show you here in a little bit what they are, if we get them shot at us here. But the only thing you got to worry about, at least in your surface ships, when enemy destroyers are on the enemy team, is them launching torpedoes at you. But destroyers are very small. They're very fast. They're very maneuverable. But most of them don't have a lot of hit points. Just like this guy. This is an enemy destroyer. He's only got 2 bars of HP compared to my 5 bars of HP. He's very fast, very maneuverable, but he is very, very easy to damage. See, that's kind of the downside of destroyers right there. But they're very fast, very maneuverable. And one thing I gotta mention too, they're very sneaky. However, the AI here, they don't care about sneakiness. They just charge right in. So we're gonna be able to exploit that, and so is our friendly AI. And as you guys can see there, that dude just died very quickly, and that is because he took torpedoes to the face. See those little Dorito symbols right there fly into the water? Those are torpedoes. You want to try to dodge those at all costs. If you see those coming towards your ship, like there, for example, what you want to be doing is turning out of the way to dodge them. Those do a lot of damage. And when I mean a lot of damage, I mean a lot of damage. A bar or two of HP a piece. They do a lot of damage. You can just look there. They're freaking huge. Well, you can't really see them, but they do a lot of damage. And they can be launched from various different ships. And looks like they're coming our way. Luckily for us, we should be able to dodge those. We have the speed and maneuverability to just go ahead and slip right past those torpedoes. And we're going to be able to put some shells downrange into that Dursky and take him down. Down he goes. Torpedoes are going to whiz past us, and they're going to hit the island right there, as you guys can see. Another destroyer coming around, so what we're going to be doing here is taking some shots at him. We don't want him to send any torpedoes. Those do a lot of damage. So we're taking some shots at him. We're doing a little bit of leading. Remember, he's pretty fast, so you got to lead a little more than you usually would to hit a destroyer. Unless he's slowing down like he is, then we can just aim right on him, just like so. And we hit him all center mass there. Now we're going to go and slow down a little bit and turn in. Just so that way we can keep all of our guns to bear on him. All of our 6-inch guns, or all of our 100mm guns, rather. And we're just going to absolutely put some more shells downrange into him, just like so. And unfortunately, the game was like, nope, we're going to miss a couple of your shells. But remember, destroyers are tiny little boats. They're not exactly the easiest to hit in the world. And unlike that, though, we actually got pretty lucky there and actually hit them with a few more shells than last time. Now, enemy Bogatyr. That's a cruiser, as you guys can see there. Cruiser. We're going to go ahead and ram him. I want to show you guys what ramming does in this game. I don't usually suggest ramming ever when you're full HP. You guys can just usually turn to the right. And, you know, for the most part, gun him down. But just for the memes, and just for the sake of the video, I'm going to show you guys what a ram does. Unless this guy outruns me, then maybe I won't. We'll see. But we're going to keep on shooting our guns here at him. And, yeah, because he is absolutely fast. Russian cruiser there, that's what that thing is. And he is very fast. We're going to aim in the rear there, get some penetrations. Unfortunately, however, we're not going to be able to ram him. So we're just going to turn to the left here a little bit and get our back guns to bear on him. And we're going to put some shells right into his booty cheeks, get a fire on him, and the Charleston takes him down. Very nice indeed. And now the only ship left is the enemy Culloden. That's a British light cruiser. How I know that? Well, if you look in the back there, there's a British flag. It's hard to see. But I've been playing the game for a long time. I know what all these ships are. I know how to deal with them. But for the sake of the video, though, I'm not going to go too in-depth to it. Now, some cruisers do have torpedoes. There are, you know, destroyers are not the only thing with torpedoes. As you guys can see there, the Culloden did launch some torpedoes. Some cruisers have torpedoes. And one way you guys can figure that out is by getting shot at by torpedoes launched from a cruiser, or by going around the tech trees and looking at the ships that have the torpedoes. Even some battleships, the big gun, heavily armored ships, even some of them have torpedoes. So you just got to keep an eye out for those. But when you see torpedoes in the water, you got to dodge them, because they do a lot of damage to your ship. But just like that, that's another battle done. And that is our service record up, just like so. And boom, bada bang, we just unlocked standard battles. Standard battles are basically battles where you can fight other players. This is where the fun begins in Legends. This is where I believe most of you guys will be spending your time at, is standard battles. Fighting players. AI, although that's pretty nice, but I would never fight against AI if I had to choose over players. Beating players, sinking players, it's a lot more fun than sinking AI. You get rewarded for it a lot better too. And most importantly, you get more XP, and yeah, you do things in standard battles. AI should only be used to train, to get yourself, you know, to get yourself ready for standard battles. So that's what, in my opinion, versus AI is all about. We're gonna go and swap over to standard battles and go ahead and go into a player battle here. Now, your first few standard battles, players versus player battles, they might be a little weird. The matchmaking might be a little bit strange, mainly because not a whole lot of people play the super low tiers, such as tier 1 and tier 2. So just keep that in mind. There's not going to maybe be a whole lot of players on the enemy team, especially if there's like barely anybody on at all. Then what the game will end up doing is even putting some AI on the enemy team just to fill in there. Because not everybody is going to be playing standard battles at lower tiers. So just bear that in mind. Now, we're going to go into battle again with our St. Louis. And it looks like the game has put some AI in. So there you go. Usually when the game can't find any suitable players to put you up against or to put on your team, they just throw some AI in. Now, you usually will never have this issue up at the tier 3, tier 4, tier 5, tier 6, tier 7, tier 8, and legendary. You'll never have that issue really much at all. It's very, very rare, if not even like possible, that AI will even get put into your match. But right here, we've got an enemy player in a Tenryu, which is a Japanese light cruiser, and it does have torpedoes. How I know that? Well, I just know that because I've played it and I've fought against it. I know the Tenryu has torpedoes. One way you guys can figure out, what enemy ships have is by when you're at port, go ahead and look at the tech trees and take a look at everything. And you can look at their stats. Although you don't own the ship, you can still look what they have and have a rough idea of what you're dealing with. So it does help out to understand your enemy ships. It really does. It really freaking does. That's why I do suggest to any new players to just try everything. Like I said, learn the game, man. It's super important. Because once you learn the game becomes a lot more fun. And it becomes a lot more enjoyable because you understand how things work. So I think that's pretty crucial for any new player. But learn it at your own speed, though, guys. Don't feel compelled to just go absolute ballistic and just overwhelm yourself. Don't do that. Take your time. Learn the game at your own pace. Play AI battles if you have to. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a game at the end of the day. And even I played like 100 AI battles when I started out, before I even started going into standard battles, and figured out that standard battles was the best game mode for actually, playing the game at. Most people, like 90% of the player base, plays in standard because it's fun to fight against other players, especially when you're a player that likes sinking other boats, especially player ships. For people that like the PvP. And the rewards. The rewards you get in standard are very much increased. By about 60-70%. So, really, you want to be getting yourself ready to play standard battles. That's your main goal. Now, if we look behind us here, the enemy Dursky. There's an enemy ship in our base. And this is what I was talking about earlier with people coming in your bases. You have to keep an eye out for that. And what we're going to be doing is defending our base. We're going to put some shells downrange at this enemy destroyer because he's capping our base. We don't want that. We do not want that one freaking bit. He needs to go down. If he caps our base, we lose the game. So what we're doing here is turning back around to go deal with him. And we're getting some shells downrange. We're actually getting some decent hits here. Now there's another hit on him. And notice that we're getting some defense ribbons here. Anytime you hit somebody that is in your base, you get something that is called a defense ribbon, which basically resets the cap. As you guys can see there up at the top here, that little red line in our base. That is the amount of capture that the enemy has achieved there, and he's only achieved a little bit. Now, we're going to shoot at this enemy Romulus here that's sitting straight onto us. Unfortunately, we don't get a whole lot of results there. Now, we're going to shoot at this enemy Dursky. Now, it looks like our torpedo warning indicator has went off, so we're going to go ahead and dodge all these torpedoes. Very important. Remember, torpedoes do a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage, and just like that, we dodged them. Very important that you try to dodge them. Now, you're not going to be able to dodge every single torpedo in this game, by any means. You're probably going to end up taking a lot of torpedoes in your Legends career, but just trying to keep an eye out for them is very important. Just like those torpedoes right there. It's very important just to know your surroundings, know what's going on. And just like that, we took down that enemy destroyer. Now, we are on fire. We're gonna go and put the fire extinguisher on and take that fire out. Now, notice that the St. Louis actually does have secondaries. I can go ahead and turn that on and have my secondaries target this Caledon. Notice a little A button there that's on him. That's because my secondaries are targeting him. And secondaries in this game are basically the guns you don't control. Notice that, see the little purple ribbon? Those are my secondary hits. And my guns are actually popping off on him pretty well there. Now, torpedoes have been sent at me. I'm slowing down, I'm turning in, and just like that, I dodge all those torpedoes. And we're going to go and put a shot into that destroyer there, just like so. Now, unfortunately, since we slowed down, we are going to take some torpedoes, and down we go. Our ship just split in half there, as you guys can see what torpedoes do to you. Torpedoes freaking hurt. They hurt a lot. But not every bit of torpedoes you can dodge. You can only try your best, right? But just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this video. To conclude this one, everybody, I'm just going to remind you, just take some time to learn the game at your own pace. You don't need to stress out. You don't need to get all worked up. Just learn the game at your own pace. It's pretty important that you do that. And when you do that, once you feel more comfortable, once you learn everything, or not everything, but once you learn the basics, learn how to aim and how to shoot things and what shells to use on certain topics, and whatnot, then you can go ahead and start going into player battles and giving it a shot. You know, it doesn't hurt to go into player battles just to give it a shot and see what happens. You'd be surprised. Now, when you get to level 5 in the service record, you get your first doubloons, which basically opens you up to the in-game store. We're not even going to talk about the in-game store that much in this series, but this is a free bundle, basically, and we're going to go and pick it up. Now, over here, if we go to the left here with our bumper, we can also go ahead and take a look at our at some of this stuff here. Nothing I want to get. I strongly suggest not spending any money on any of this stuff. Do not do it, because you don't need to. Most of the stuff you can get in this game is for free. Now, if we go over to featured, there's a little free bundle in here right now at the time of recording this video, and it has some stuff in it. It's got some crates, a whole lot of crates, which have chances of dropping premium ships, which are ships that cost real-life money. So, we're going to go and pick this up. It's a freebie. As a new player, you want to be keeping an eye out for these free bundles. It's very important, because it's free. You know what I mean? You can't go wrong with free stuff. Now, every single day, no matter what, there's always a free crate. Always. Always pick this up, because it drops some bonus, it drops some free stuff, and you might as well. It doesn't have a chance of dropping ships or anything, but it still drops some free stuff. Now, up here, we're going to go and open all of our crates here. These are all the crates we just got for free. Now, we can open one at a time by holding A, or we can open everything we have at once. We're going to go and do that. And we got a whole bunch of stuff here. We got a commander, Von Spee. That was from, I think, our commander crate we got. We got a patch. Very nice. We can go and put that on. We've got some promotion orders, which are used to upgrade commanders. Obviously, we do not have commanders yet, so we're not going to be covering that in this video. But most likely in the next video, we will be going over commanders and what all this stuff is. But we got some commander XP. We've got some global XP, which is used to speed up research and stuff like that, and buying global XP ships in the store. We got 470,000 credits, 5 camos. We got 12 winter camos. We got another camo. We got all the stuff. We got a bunch of boosters, which help us earn money quicker and earn XP and all the greatness that is this game right there. Now, one thing I want to point out before we end off here is that you guys can click on your button here, go over to the game card, and head on into the in-game store, or into the Microsoft store. For us, I think it's for the PlayStation store for you guys. And you guys can come into here, and you guys can get some bundles in here. There are some free stuff that you guys can pick up. I know this is free right here. Supply shipment. It comes with 5 days of premium, bunch of stuff. Wargaming is pretty good at releasing a lot of freebies for players that don't want to spend money on the game. Another freebie right here. Jumpstart 4. I'm going to go and pick that up. Also, some free stuff right there. What else is free here? I think that's it. Those are, I think, the only freebies in the shop right now. At least in the Microsoft store. Now, you guys can spend money on the game. I don't recommend it, though, if you're a newer player. Don't spend money on the game yet until you have figured out mostly everything. Because I don't want you guys to spend money on something and then regret it later down the line. I don't want that. What you guys need to be doing is just figuring out the game. But just like that, we got some free stuff. We got a couple days of premium, and we got some other crap too. So we'll take it. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all did enjoy this video. If you guys did, please be sure to go down there in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Hit that subscribe button if you guys did really like it. And hit that like button. Hit that like button if you did like this video in any way. Nonetheless, everybody, I do hope you guys found this video informational. I hope this video does also help some newer players out there. And yeah, I hope to get some good feedback on this video, because if it does get some pretty good feedback, if I get some pretty decent views on it, if I get a lot of people rolling on in here, I'll keep this series going. However, if I don't get really any views on this, I could be using my time a lot more efficiently making my main Legends content that I do. So please let me know what you guys think in the comments, and share this video around with a friend if they need help learning the game, if you think this is something they want to watch. But with all that being said, everybody, I'm very appreciative that you guys are here. If you guys have sticked in this far, let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace out. Stay healthy. As always.